What is happening, football fans? Welcome back to another hard-hitting episode of Gridiron Glory. I'm Jaush Huntsberger. As you all know, tonight marked the last night of Ohio's regular season, and it'll soon be time to turn our attention to the playoffs. Entering tonight, two of our teams had already clinched a playoff spot, and every single team on tonight's show was playoff eligible. To see who will be playing next week and who took each conference title, let's get going. Now, over in West Virginia, each team gets one bye week throughout the season, making their regular season 11 weeks long. Parkersburg's bye couldn't have come at a better time last week after they lost the previous two games to their rival Parkersburg South and Wilson. Tonight, they hosted South Charleston on senior night in a must-win situation to keep playoff hopes alive. We are now welcomed by our West Virginia reporter, Seth Austin. Seth, we haven't seen Parkersburg in a while. Bring us up to speed.
Yeah, Josh, the last time that we saw them, they were actually losing to their crosstown rival Parkersburg. The week after that, they lost the game to Wilson, 30-22. Had a bye last week, knowing they would have to explode out of it if they wanted to make the playoffs. And Josh, there was a ton of emotion at Stadium Field tonight, with the Big Reds drawing special source of inspiration coming from Nathan Habab as their honorary captain. And Parkersburg looking to get going early. And so Aaron Roberts drops back to pass. His pass is going to be tipped and picked off by Black Eagle Chris Jamar Perkins. And he's the big fellow. The linebacker's going to roll, break a few tackles, get all the way to the outside, find his way deep into Parkersburg territory before being knocked out of bounds by the quarterback Roberts, helping the Black Eagles get on the board first. Kentre Greer to Markel Hampton. 7 yards on the score. He's going to fight his way across the goal line. 7-0 South Charleston. Another interception leads to this. Kentre Greer. He's a freshman quarterback. Look at him make these moves. Get past a few defenders, rush his way to the outside and go 58 yards to the house. Nobody is touching him. He had a phenomenal game tonight. But as for Parkersburg, Adam Lindemood, what a career this guy's had as a Big Red at Parkersburg. He tries to keep them in the game. 50-yard run. He is a monstrous running back. He gets all the way inside South Charleston territory. He caps off the drive later, 14-7, but Kentre Greer tosses the outside to Trayvon Reese. He's going to make a few moves guys miss. What an athletic team the Black Eagles team was. 17 yards down to the goal line. Looks like he gets in. Ken Haynes punches it up, and they were in control there in the driver's seat, much like our friends from Parkersburg out there. They get the win 41-21.
All right, well, Seth, as we see there, Adam Lindemood, the running back man for Parkersburg, he definitely did his job. What went wrong?
Yeah, 40 carries, 267 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Adam Lindemood. What a workhorse, but that was how one-dimensional Parkersburg was tonight. Aaron Roberts, 90 rushing yards. We don't see that from him much this season, but he was 3 of 9 on the night, 2 interceptions. In the first half, he was 0 for 2 with those 2 picks. They can't have that happen if they wanted to get the win.
Now, with this loss, it doesn't look like Parkersburg is going to make the playoffs. So if they were trying to stay positive, what could they take away from this season?
Well, they do know that they have a lot of playmakers coming back this next season. Aaron Roberts is a junior quarterback. He's shined at some points this year. They also had Chandler Hamilton and Dan Fox. Both of these guys coming back, big playmakers at receiver and running back. So they have that to look forward to next season.
All right, well, they weren't the only Parkersburg to lose tonight. South also lost in a close game. What's their playoff picture looking like?
Yeah, they came into their matchup tonight with Wheeling Park, ranked 11th in AAA in West Virginia. They dropped that game, but now they have John Marshall next week, 2-6. They can still fit in the top 16, and they might be able to make the playoffs.
All right, well, we'll be keeping coverage. Thanks a lot tonight, Seth. Now, TriValley accomplished an early season goal last week by clinching a share of the MVL title. But we knew from the get-go that these Scotties wouldn't be satisfied with anything less than a 10-0 start to this season. Now, to accomplish that and sole rights to the MVL crown, they still had to go through the stellar defense of Philo tonight. We are now welcomed by our MVL reporter Brad Hawley live from Zanesville. Brad, there were plenty of storylines heading into this game.
That's right, Josh, and this is what Week 10 football is all about. For TriValley, they're looking for their first 10-0 regular season in school history. That's 64 years, and they're also looking for an outright MVL title. And as for Philo, their backs are against the wall. They need an upset against TriValley to stay in the playoff hunt. And check out this little guy pushing me down, and yeah, he's got some Philo strength. And Austin Jones, he starts off his big night, 13 yards. He's inside the red zone, and he finishes it off, 2-yard touchdown run, 7-0 TriValley early. Philo 3 and out, and Strzok goes in through the air, 35 yards, and what an acrobatic catch. They punch it in, 14-0 TriValley. Philo still struggling to move the ball. They have to punt it again, and Jones is on the move again, 37 yards around the left side. He goes all the way down to the 1-yard line, and big game for him tonight. 152 yards, 4 touchdowns. He looks like a Player of the Year candidate to me. And Philo, Patrick Henry, quarterback, trying to get it going through the air, but Chris Michael with the interception, he takes it all the way down to the 2. Austin Jones punches it in 28-0. Philo finally gets on track in the offense, but on 4th down, they can't make the catch. So they turn the ball over on downs, and Nathan Strock tries to get another quick score before the half, but he's under pressure, and he gets intercepted by Hunter Smith, maybe a momentum changer, 28-7 TriValley, but then TriValley at the very end of the half, Chris Michael over the middle gets down to the 5. They end up scoring with 3 seconds to go, Josh. Nathan Strock had another good game, 10 for 16, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. But what he's going to be mad at, Josh, is the 1 interception. That's his first one all year.
All right, well, first ever Tri-Valley team to go 10-0. Brad, is this the best Tri-Valley team we've ever seen?
Well, they're right on track. I mean, if they're 10-0, this is the first time in school history, 64 years. And at worst, they're going to have 1 loss, which will tie their best record. But they're going to be judged on what happens in the playoffs. If they make it back to the regional finals like last year or get through the regional finals, this is the best Tri-Valley team this school has ever seen.
All right, well, Philo is seemingly eliminated. Tri-Valley looking like they're going to get that 1 seed. They've already clinched home field. What's going on with Maysville, Brad?
Well, they did their job tonight. They were the 3 seed going in. They wanted that home field advantage, and they won 56-21. But unfortunately for Maysville, they're not going to get many computer points for beating Morgan. But if you check out the region, Steubenville is behind Maysville starting tonight, but they beat a very respectable Division III Buckdale team. I think they're going to jump Maysville, and I also think Dover, who beat New Philadelphia, an 8-1 team, Division II team, they're going to jump Maysville. So I think that Maysville will not get that home playoff game, but that's okay because they're still making the playoffs for the first time in school history.
Oh, they got to love that. Tough roads ahead, though, for Maysville and Tri-Valley throughout the playoffs. We'll be keeping up with them. Thanks a lot, Brad. Now, if you'd like to keep up with Tri-Valley or any of our other teams throughout the week, check us out on social media. You can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Gridiron Glory for score updates, pictures, and more. You can also follow my host Twitter account at gghost_JAUSH. There you can get my opinions on weekly matchups, ask any questions, and let me know who you think will win each game of the week. Now, it's now time on our show for Fan of the Week. Tonight, we took a trip to Gallia Academy to see the Blue Devil fans and the always exciting G-Force. I'm sure this student section felt that we at Gridiron saved the best for last, and after hearing them tonight, it's hard to argue. Gridiron Glory, heard of us? Come on down, try to choose a Fan of the Week. I don't know their alma mater. Sorry. Yeah, I've heard a lot about the student section, so I'm in the right place, right? This is the G-Force, right? High fives? Can we high fives? Yeah. Wade Gerald, Blair the year candidate right here, touch my hand. I'm gonna follow him. Right now. Can I get a handshake?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, now what's your name and what are you gonna do tonight?
Brock Rocky, I'm going to kick some Jackson butt tonight.
Thanks for keeping it PG for us. We appreciate that.
Right.
Hey, if you guys are looking this way, I'll bring the shirt up here. We're looking for a Fan of the Week. You guys heard about that, right? No? You guys gotta be quiet right now? Oh, Jackson's taking the field. We'll wait. Boo. I don't know what happens next, but let's do it.
About to do I Believe.
I Believe I Can Fly?
No, I Believe.
R. Kelly? It's my favorite song. Okay, what's I Believe? What's I Believe? Everybody tells me we're going to do I Believe. I don't know what that is. See, the great thing about this G-Force, they don't only get themselves involved, they get the entire stands on their feet, which is why we chose them for our last week of Fan of the Week. This is going to be epic. Does Brock deserve Fan of the Week? Yeah! Is Gallia going to beat Jackson? Yeah! Congratulations, Brock.
Thank you! I believe that we will win! 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 I believe that we will win!
Well, thanks again to the G-Force for helping us finish strong for our last segment of Fan of the Week. Now, we'll also bring you highlights from their matchup against Jackson here in a little bit. Now, one of our two teams that already clinched a playoff spot before tonight was Trimble. The Tomcats entered their matchup against Federal Hocking sitting at the number 4 spot in Region 23 with plans of keeping that home field advantage. The Lancers, on the other hand, are hanging on by a thread coming into tonight at 14 in Region 19. We now welcome our TVC Hocking reporter, Keith Turner. Now, Keith, last week, this game probably would have meant a lot more, but there's still a lot riding on it.
Absolutely, Josh, you're right. It was a tough loss last week for the Lancers. However, Coach Hoffman tells me before the game, this was their playoff game, and they were ready to fight, while the Tomcats already clinched a playoff spot. But Coach Fair simply put it, a win, and we play at home next week, and a loss, and probably go on the road. Senior night, and those junior Tomcats, they were ready to go. First possession, Connor Stanley finds Jacob Coons, a very nice first down completion there. And Coons, he was ready to fight tonight because next he would finish the drive on the ground, 3-yard touchdown rush, 7-0 Tomcats. And after a 3-and-out for the Lancers, Stanley's going to find Jacob Coons a 43-yard touchdown pass. He had 92 reception yards on 4 carries. He was a beast on the night. And Bryce Smathers knows how to finish the drive. The one-armed monster finishes it 10 yards, touchdown, 13-0 Tomcats. Next possession, Kyle Jackson's going to look. He's going to look, but he's going to be sacked by Tanner Coons. Looks like there may be a little relation there. And that forces a punt. Second quarter now. Stan, the man's going to make them pay, reaching out toward the end zone. Ball crosses the foul line, 19-0 Tomcats, and he's not done. Stanley's going to find Austin Downs. Next possession over the middle, 27-0 at half. While Connor Stanley, he's warming up, and he's going to throw it to yours truly. And I got to say, Josh, the kid's got a cannon.
Got hands,
Third
too, son.
quarter now, Jackson looking for anything, finds his receiver for a big first down there. They're trying to get something going here in the third quarter, but a few plays later, fourth down, Trimble's defense gets that stuff. A turnover on downs, a big victory for Trimble, 41-8. But Josh, they were 35 seconds away from having their 7th consecutive shutout.
Wow.
This defense has been amazing, and you got to look at how they started this game. I mean, touchdown, first 4 possessions, 4 touchdown, 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 touchdown.
Wow.
Didn't have a punt until the second quarter. This team was just dominant tonight.
Now, with the loss for Fed Hawk, it looks like they're done, but Trimble was at 4 entering tonight. Do you think they got that home field advantage?
Well, it sure looks so, Josh. Coming into the night, they sat at number 4 in Region 23. They could only go up from there, and depending on how Colonial Crawford plays, it could set up a very interesting rematch from last year, Trimble versus Sims Valley, and this time it would be at Trimble. Man, Josh, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what goes down.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Eastern, they had a little bit of a crazy week. They have Southern tomorrow night, hopefully for a playoff spot.
Absolutely. Eastern, they had one tough week. They were number 8 in the same region, Region 23, last week, but with some OHSAA violations and things, they were stripped from 2 victories, and now they got the 2 victories back. So now this week, Coach Tennant and his boys have a huge shot of making the playoffs if they can beat Southern on tomorrow night.
All right, well, we'll be keeping up with that all the way. This guy will too. Thanks a lot, Keith. Now, the first week of voting for this year's Player of the Year was sensational. But if you've forgotten who you can vote for or you want to show your friends, here's a quick reminder of our top 5. Now, all of the voting can be done by sending an email to playeroftheyear@woub.org. All you have to do is type the player's name and hit send. Now, remember, each person gets 1 vote. Now, as we've shown you a few times this season, the game of football goes well beyond the realms of what happens on the field. In Jackson, it brought an entire community together around one 5th grade boy. Carter Rodriguez has the story.
The beauty of a small town is that everybody knows everybody, and everybody's pulling for another. So when PJ Blair got sick in August, the Jackson community never hesitated to embrace a family in need.
It makes me feel again like I'm not a nobody.
PJ Blair may be a lot of things, but he's definitely not a nobody.
He's just giving us motivation throughout the season and showing us to enjoy life.
I mean, he's upbeat, he's energetic, he's doing really, really well.
PJ Blair is a typical 5th grader dealing with atypical adversity. 2 months ago, he was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma.
It's a very rare bone cancer. Only about 300 to 400 cases are reported a year.
You can't even really explain the struggles he has to go through. I couldn't even imagine what he has to go through.
Despite his illness, PJ is a big football fan.
He really wanted to come. He's a big football guy, big athletic guy, and so he wanted to come to football games, but because of his treatments, he can't be around people a whole lot.
So head coach Andy Hall did him one better. When PJ was able to make it to a game, he got to meet the team personally, and more.
He brought us in through the coach's entrance, and the team was getting ready to line up, and he got to lead the team out onto the field.
The team is really fun to hang out with. It's really cool. Not everybody gets to do that, and I know I'm very special to get to do that.
After meeting PJ, Ironman players decided they wanted to get to know him just a little bit better.
We went to visit him because we figured he'd like that.
You know, you may have some homework, but if you guys want to jump in the car and go to Ethan Quinn's house, he'll take you over. Well, 40 kids showed up.
And he started talking about how he's real good at Call of Duty, so Derek Rafferty played him in a match, and he ended up beating Derek.
Well, other than kicking people's butts in Call of Duty, it was really fun.
PJ's got an artsy side as well. He loves to draw his favorite characters, something Hall decided to take advantage of.
I said, if you can come to next week's game, I want a Jackson Ironman, and I want a blue Gallia Academy G, and I want you doing something to that G.
PJ met Hall at a pep rally Thursday night to give him his picture, and Hall had a little surprise for him as well.
Got my shirt on today, too.
Those shirts PJ and Coach are wearing are 2 of 2,000. An anonymous donor gave $10,000 to print those t-shirts to sell for a blackout this past Friday against Chillicothe, and raised almost $20,000 along the way. For Rob and Blair, the support has been a gift.
The words of encouragement and the support, not just financially, because you need the other stuff too. You need the emotional support. You need to know that people are in your corner.
For the Jackson community, PJ's given them much more than they could ever return: inspiration and somebody to rally behind.
When someone is struggling, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, whether it's spiritually, or whatever the case is, this community will step forth and help out in any way.
A Paint the World for PJ fund has been opened at the Milton Banking Company, located at 400 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. Special thanks to the Blair family for letting us sit down with them, and the whole Gridiron crew will be sending PJ our best wishes.
And I'm sure all of us in southeastern Ohio will be pulling for PJ as well. Thanks a lot, Carter. Now, as if Jackson needed any more motivation to win this Week 10 matchup against Gallia Academy, they were playing for some history. An Ironman win would mark the first time that Jackson has ever beaten the Blue Devils 4 straight times. But this is the 3rd straight season that the SUL title has been decided in this game. And since the last 2 have gone to Jackson, these Blue Devils have had this game circled since Week 1. We now welcome our SEOAL reporter Graham Fugazi to break down the game. Graham, this rivalry that's been building the past few years definitely lived up to the hype tonight.
Yeah, Josh, you could feel the competitive tension between these two teams, and there was some jawing on Twitter this week leading up to this game, and that intensity carried over to Memorial Field tonight. Josh, I was so excited. I was getting ready to suit up for this game. And head coach Mike Eddy, he's going to lead his seniors down the stairs for the last time, and on the first quarter, Gallia Academy 3 and out. First possession, muff punt. Gallia Academy gets the ball in Jackson territory, 2nd and 10, Jackson 35. Wade Gerald, he's going to hit Justin Bailey on a 13-yard slant down to Jackson's 22-yard line. 5 plays later, Nick Clagg is going to get the jet sweep. He's going to take it around the end. He's going to get in from 10 yards out. PAT good. Gallia Academy up 7-0, 7-12 in the first. Then you got to look, Josh, from here. It's all offense. Derek Rafferty punches it 5 yards here. Then on the next play, 1st and 10, Stephen Kearns, he's going to roll out. He's going to leap a defender, get down into the end zone on that play there, 25 yards. And that's one of his 4 touchdowns on the night. But here comes Gerald. He's going to lead the team back. He's going to hit Justin Bailey with a fingertip catch down the sideline. And on the next play, you have Cody Russell. He's going to plant his hand in the ground. He's going to carry it in from 28 yards out. Just like that, Gallia Academy back on top, 13-7. 3 plays later, though, Stephen Kearns again on the similar run like he had before out on the jet sweep on the left side, 23 yards. He's going to get in the end zone. PAT good, 13-13 with 10:15 left. And Mike Eddy, he knows that this team is 2 quarters away as Gallia Academy's up. But here, Josh, 4th and 2 at the start of the second half. Gallia Academy, they turn it over, or excuse me, they get a turnover. And Wade Gerald, the Player of the Year finalist, is going to punch it in to end the drive. 23-13 with 6:09 left in the third quarter, and they go on to win 30-27. And Gallia Academy finally gets that SUAL title and that win against Jackson they've been anticipating for 3 years now, Josh.
Well, Jackson made a game out of it, came back, got the lead. Gallia had the tenacity to get it done. But Graham, you took the words right out of my mouth, buddy. Gallia, they've been waiting for this one for a while.
I mean, that's exactly right. You know, Coach Eddy talked about how balanced this team was throughout the entire season. Their big play running back, Ty Warnemont, was out with an ankle injury tonight, and Cody Russell, he stepped up. He had 11 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. And then Wade Gerald, like we've talked about all year, he had 133 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and now this team is headed to the playoffs.
All right, well, that'll likely do it for Jackson. Like you said, Gallia clinches their spot. What's the playoff picture looking like in general?
Well, now the top 8 teams, we're looking to see if a shakeup would start. Gallia Academy is sitting at 5th with Circleville loss. They lost to Canal Winchester 21-6. So now Gallia Academy is going to move up. We think that Athens is going to move up as well. And now Gallia Academy looks like they're going to have a home game, Josh. And we saw, like in Fan of the Week, that G-Force, they were rocking tonight, and they'll be rocking if they have another home game in the playoffs.
Oh, we know that's for sure, Graham. Jackson, last game tonight, seemingly. Give us a quick little, what can they take away from this season? What looked good?
Well, you have to look at what Stephen Kearns did when he took over. He's a senior now. He had 4 touchdowns on the night for this team. But with the way that this team played, they killed themselves with the turnovers, and that was a big thing. They're going to have to get that done and straightened out next season. All
right, well, we'll be keeping up with Gallia Academy the rest of the way. Thanks a lot, Graham. Now, how fitting is it that the most anticipated matchup of the year is on the last week of the season and the final matchup on our show? The battle for Route 33 was decided by just 3 points last season in overtime fashion. Now, Athens and Nelsonville-York position themselves back to the top of the TVC Ohio, both with new styles of offense. Without a doubt, this one had us all on the edge of our seat for the rematch of all rematches and our game of the week. Welcome our tag team of TVC Ohio reporters Pat Chiesa and Mark Pierce. Fellas, this one had a lot to live up to after last year's game.
Oh, without question, Josh. Buckeyes fans will tell you that Athens truly stole a win at Basil Redder a year ago. And Mark, I think that result made this game so much more important for 2 teams that really have been playing their best football as of late.
Absolutely, Pat. And these 2 teams have so much history between the 2 of them. Obviously, last year with Athens undefeated and getting the best in Nelsonville-York. This is a brand new season. What's not different is Athens jumping out to an early lead. Joey Burrow finds Ryan Lorman for the 76-yard touchdown run, or pass, 7-0 Bulldogs. And then from there, perfect delayed draw. Trey Williams gets the handoff, and he's going to show off the speed, then break a tackle, 54 yards down the sidelines, 14-0 Athens.
And Mark, early on, this one had the makings of getting ugly. Again, guess who it is? Number 10, it's the Joey Burrow show, 18 yards to the house, 21-0 Athens. But I think that woke Nelsonville-York up. Here they are on some trickeration. Austin North taking the fake punt 25 yards, and a few plays later, Clint Handa gets the Buckeyes on the board, 17 yards to pay dirt. Nelsonville-York back in it, 21-7. That would be Athens' lead at the half.
But the second half starts right as the first one did. The very first play of the game, Joey Burrow kicks in the afterburners, 51-yard score. That's 27-7 Bulldogs.
But Jacob Blake of Nelsonville-York says, you know what, Joey, I'll take your touchdown run and I'll raise you a 76-yard kick return Nobody is touching this senior, truly shining bright on senior night, and that puts Nelsonville-York back in the game, 27-14.
But you know what's going to kill you, Pat? Big plays. And Athens,
Joey Burrow.
Athens has a plethora of them. Here's one to Tyler McIntosh, a 38-yard TD reception, 35-14.
And the Bucks would score again. Here's Joe Young on a 1-yard keeper, but that would not be enough. Athens takes the Doc Kroner, 42-21.
Wow, fellas, well, as you see, Joey Burrow did work again, but hey, he wasn't the only sophomore having success tonight.
Anyway, like you said, Josh, Trey Williams was the story here. The guy is a perfect complement to Joey Burrow. 12 carries, 129 yards, and 1 touchdown there. You saw his 54-yard scamper into the end zone. The guy was just phenomenal tonight, and it's so hard when you're a defense and you have a guy like Burrow you have to key on, but then a guy like Trey Williams that you can hand the ball off to. So he was really the difference maker tonight.
Such a balanced offense, and it's truly been working for Athens all season long.
All right, well, Nelsonville-York, they might need some help. We'll see next week if they made it into the playoffs. But Athens, this is a huge win for them. What's the playoff picture looking like, fellas?
Well, Josh, yeah, as you said it for Nelsonville-York, they were in the 8th spot heading into tonight. Obviously, the loss did not help them, but they might still have a fighting chance. We will see when the playoff bracket is released on Monday. Actually, I'm getting word that they will not be in the playoffs, but still a great season for the Buckeyes. Keep in mind they won 7 games in a row, so Dave Boston and company a lot to hang their hats on. But Athens, it looks like they are going to wrap up the 3rd seed. They will have a home game next Friday at Basil Rudder Field, and it looks like Athens will face Logan Elm. Logan Elm was the 7th seed. They got a victory tonight, so I think, Mark, Logan Elm is going to get that 6th seed, and they will be heading to Basil Rudder to try to upset the Bulldogs.
All right, well, that is now 9 straight wins for the Bulldogs. If they do slip up in the playoffs, how's it going to happen?
Well, Josh, we've been talking about Joey Burrow, and quite frankly, he is the cog in the wheel of this Athens team. This offense truly runs through that young man, and it's amazing because he's only a sophomore. I think it's going to have to be Joey Burrow maybe getting injured or having a bad game, which doesn't seem likely the way we've seen him perform the last 9 weeks.
All right, well, 2 straight for Athens, maybe becoming the new champs at TVC Ohio for a while to come. Thanks a lot, fellas. Now, to keep up with our coverage every day of the week, log onto our website at woub.org/gridiron. There you can find game previews, videos, and score updates on all of our featured teams. You can also find standings, playoff seedings, and previews of our Player of the Year finalists. Now it's now time to hit rewind and take a look at our most impressive moments of Week 10. So stop texting or tweeting about how much you love Gridiron Glory and pay attention for another edition of our Plays of the Week. We're going to start things out with Gallia Academy taking on their rival Jackson. Player of the Year candidate Wade Jarrell here drops back, goes up top. Not the prettiest ball, but his boy Justin Bailey's going to help him out with a 25-yard pickup there. More from this game coming on later. At number 2 here, South Charleston freshman quarterback Kentre Greer fakes the handoff, goes to the right, comes back up the middle, and then down the left sidelines after making a few guys miss. 58-yard touchdown, and they win this one 41-21, presumably ending Parkersburg's season. At number 1, Cody Russell here for for Gallia Academy, breaks a tackle and puts his hand on the ground, and his legs will do the rest of it. They win this one 30-27. Now that's all we have for Week 10, folks, and you know what that means. It's time to start thinking playoffs. Next week, we'll keep up with TriValley, Maysville, Trimble, Athens, Gallia Academy, and maybe a few others as they begin their postseason journey. We'll also round out the last week of the regular season for Wahama and Parkersburg South. So don't stop watching just yet because we still have 3 weeks of coverage for all of you football fans. So that's all we got. So until next time, and for the entire crew, I'm Jaush Huntsberger reminding you that there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.